calls himself the fixer, like the lady off a Scandal.
I call myself the fixer because when the kids feel like things are not going right for them, I can make it better for them. When I first talked to Coach Smart about joining him at VCU, I mentioned to Coach Smart that I'm a guy who coaches his players hard, but I love them harder.
We talk to him pretty much every day, you know, just about anything, school, class, anything we might have going on that day or in our life. He'll listen and talk to us about it and give us whatever advice we need.
He's driven to help a guy get from point A to point B, and that's really what it's about.
But do the young guys know that this man, David Cason, is still the career leader in assists per game at Illinois State? Do you think they know that, Coach?
I do not, but you got to have good players to pass it to, and I was extremely lucky that I had some guys that could finish.
Well, we're going to talk a lot about your coaching and how you pass on that knowledge, but to go back to your playing days, who had the biggest influence on you as far as teaching you the game?
Oh, wow. I mean, I had some great teachers. I go back to my high school coach, Meredith Smith. Very fortunate. He coached my mom, my dad, myself, and then my younger brother. So my high school coach really instilled competition, playing the game the right way. And then from there, I had a very athletic family in terms of my parents. So I learned the game the right way. And then as my career got going, very, very fortunate that I got with some good coaches and some good people. And, I mean, it's been great ever since.
Year number 2 with Coach Cason. You've talked a lot, Coach, about Briante Weber and his situation a year ago going down with the torn ACL at VCU. When that happened, your point guard goes down. What did you learn about this man's coaching capabilities?
Well, you know, we had 2 other point guards, scholarship level point guards. One was a freshman and one was a sophomore, and those guys had really played backup minutes to Briante. Briante was the center of everything on our team. So when he tore his ACL, I believe it was on January 31st, we kind of looked at each other as a staff and said, oh man, you know, what are we going to do? But I think the work that DC had put in with our point guards and what we call Point Guard U, which is the film sessions and the meetings that he has with them on a regular basis, that's really what paid off. I mean, obviously, there was an enhanced level of urgency with those guys after the injury, but it was the work that had been put in for months and months and months before that that allowed them to be ready. And later on that year, about a month and a half later, we won the conference championship. Point Guard U.
I like that. And you look at the performance recently from some of these guards, and it's been fantastic. Isaiah Taylor, you look at his numbers, the way he's produced offensively and defensively now for this Texas team, and Point Guard U is paying off. We're going to get into some of the clickers here, Coach, but first off, what would you say you look for primarily in a point guard?
Well, and being out on a recruiting trail and looking for a kid, number one, that fits what Coach Smart wants. And that starts with the connection that he has with his head coach and also his teammates. Go a long way. There's tons of kids out there who are very, very special. But if you don't have that connection with your teammates or your head coach, then it's tough for me as an assistant coach to go back and say, hey, Coach Smart, he's the guy. You know, but the intangibles, like really fast with the ball, great on-ball defender, has an ability to hit his teammates who are good shooters right where they want the ball is very, very important when looking for a point guard.
I think we have 2 of those examples, hitting the shooter where he wants the basketball and being very, very fast right here.
How did you know what he was going to say?
Doodaloo, doodaloo.
Here we got some clips. I think we have Isaiah first. And, DC, if you want to kind of talk about these and what our approach was, getting the ball back to him and playing.
Well, what's neat is that West Virginia goes to a 3-on-2 against us, and we get the ball out of the trap here versus West Virginia, and we get it to our fastest player, and it turns into a 4-on-2, Texas. So whenever we can get Isaiah the basketball in open space, there aren't too many people that can keep him in front.
DC, you, Lowell mentioned it, you were the career assist holder, still are, at Illinois State. And by the way, Lowell, one of these things is not like the other. One of these things.
Not a point guard?
But talk a little bit.
Not a point guard.
Not a career assist holder.
Oh, okay.
DC,
I was going basic level.
Talk about Isaiah's ability here because he gets so much attention to find guys in these special passes that he makes.
Here's what's neat before that play. When Isaiah caught the basketball and he dribbled out as the shot clock was going down, he recognized Connor early. Now, everyone was really excited about the actual shot that Connor made, but as a coach, if you appreciate the game of basketball, this pass between your legs on the money to Connor in his shooting pocket, that is oh so sweet as a coach.
Just like you did it back in the day, right?
No, I tell you what, that ball would have went out of bounds. I would have gotten yelled at. Coach Smart would have sent everyone to the table to get me out of there.
A little humility goes a long way.
We talk all the time about Isaiah's ability to pass the ball with that left hand, and we think he's as good as we've seen, you know, being able to make that one-handed pass on the money. And like he said, hitting the guy where he wants it. It's one thing to make the pass, but if you make it on target, that's huge.
Well, let's go into the performance of Javon Felix, a guy that usually creates these shots and hits those shots on his own.
Yeah, here we're playing against Iowa State, and, you know, Javon's been really, really good at creating offense for us. You know, just as important, really, as Isaiah, because Isaiah gets so much attention. But here we're playing against some zone, and, you know, just makes a good play really out of nothing here. He's just playing. And DC, talk about his breakdown ability and how much we play one-on-one.
Well, it's amazing because, you know, we play one-on-one, and usually it's for the defense. But Javon is what I call like the calm before the storm or during the storm. He's always patient. He's under control. And he has an innate ability to just take anyone off the dribble. Short, taller, faster, slower. And he's really good at that.
The thing about Javon that's really good, and DC's done a great job with him on this, is his aggressiveness is off the charts. And it's partly because he believes I can score on anybody.
Yeah.
We're talking about a guy who's 5'10". I know because I'm 5'10 and a half. But we're talking about a guy that normally on the court is the shortest guy out there. And if you looked at him, you wouldn't think, well, this is the most athletic guy. But he can get by almost anyone and get a shot off. Here you see him the other night making a great inside-out move and getting to an easy jumper.
And rarely do we see him getting his shots blocked. How's he able to do that?
Well, you know, it's interesting. When we started individual workouts in the fall, and you remember this, DC, he was in a group with Isaiah, Snoop, and Eric. And you can do groups of up to 4 for the first few weeks of workouts. You can't have more than 4 guys. And he really struggled. Remember, he struggled getting the shot off. I mean, he'd get by guys and get his shot blocked, but his poise and his aggressiveness are on a whole different level now than they were. And a lot of the credit for that goes to DC and the film that he's shown these guys and the way that he's encouraged them to be aggressive.
But it's not just the offense. Got to play a little defense as well. And we talk all the time with Eric Davis about his offensive ability.
You can talk about, you know, where this guy was, Eric, when he got here, you know, defensively. He certainly was much further ahead on offense. But here's a couple clips here of him guarding the basketball and doing a nice job keeping his numbers in front of the guy and forcing a tough shot. So did a great job. That's Jayshawn Page, their leading scorer, and you know, Eric did a really good job there. And this next clip is just as impressive. And DC, you can talk about it as it goes here, but.
Here's Eric right here, Lowell, and he recognizes that he's guarding a much bigger offensive player. He does a good job of trying to get in front. That's our post positioning defensive-wise. And he always talks about how athletic he is. And he, as you can see, he got off the floor right there and knocked the ball away. And, you know, when Eric makes a great defensive play on the floor, if you just watch him sometimes, he'll take and he'll do this like he's the glove. You know,
I like it.
He has a great attitude and disposition about being better defensively.
Well, you talk athleticism, and then you go right into Snoop Roach. Are there challenges at times when you coach someone that is as athletic as Kerwin Roach, especially that's younger, a freshman?
No, I tell you what's really neat is that Kerwin's attitude has been phenomenal. You know, after the Washington game in China, he came up to Coach and I, and usually freshmen, big games, their first game, you know, there's some things that they need to improve on. Yeah. Games faster. Kerwin Roach came up to Coach and I and just said, hey, Coach, I need to get better. You know, there's some areas I need to get better in. Yeah. And we're really pleased with what he's been able to progress at.
One of the things that he's really gotten better at is just his ability to make decisions and make the right pass. This looks really, really simple, him dropping it off to Tevin. But this is what a point guard does. You know, delivers the ball on target, on time, to get a good score, the ability to get a good shot. And then you'll see another clip here of him doing it in transition. Of course, we try to play really fast, so when he gets a rebound, we want him to push it here. But it's really important as you see this wall of defenders to make a good decision, and that's something that Coach Cason works with him on all the time. On-target pass, gives it to Eric in the shooting pocket, he knocks it in.
So if you could wrap up what you've seen collectively from your guards this year, what's been the most impressive thing that you've seen from where they are right now compared to where they were when you arrived?
I would say, Law, that they've been doing a very good job of listening and following the plan. And the plan, it's a process, and those guys have been unbelievably patient and wanting to get better, as we have seen throughout these clips.
Well, Coach, we appreciate the time. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thanks, man.